Hello, I am Sage Plapp with Midnight Riot, and I am here with Joe Altamore from the band now known as Clementine.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm living. I'm all right. So the first question I have for you is, how did Clem come together? It started in 2010, right?
It did. That happened because I had a crush on the girl across the street and I didn't know how to play guitar, and I saw this guy walking out of her house with a guitar, and I remember thinking like, oh, that guy, he thinks he's cool because he has a guitar, he can play guitar or whatever. And that guy turned out to be my friend Bennett, and Bennett ended up asking me to be in his band, which wasn't really a band because I don't think they had a drummer yet, or maybe they did. It's been a while. He asked me to be in his band because everybody knew I could sing, kind of. I sang everywhere I went, like even when I was like a little kid. My mom has this memory of me like singing in the crib, I guess. So yeah, I've been singing for a long time, and so he asked me to be his vocalist, and then everything kind of ramified from there. You know, I learned how to play guitar, and I started writing music with the guys and all that good stuff. So that's how it started. The catalyst for all of that was this movie that you probably know, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes, I very much know that movie.
So Bennett and Mac went to go see that movie, and that's when Bennett got the idea to just form a band of his own. And then now, you know, I write a lot of the songs for the band, and it's kind of become an obsession of mine.
Who are the members of Clem? And then branching off on that, like, what is Clem? Like, if it was broken down into a concept, an idea, what would you say it is?
Our bassist is Mac Sima, and he's a neurotic and very focused individual who gets everything done. He books the majority of tour, and he is extremely diligent and damn fine bassist. And then Bennett is the lead guitarist, and he's funny and lovable and tall and has famous hugs, actually.
Nice.
Like people know him for Bennett hugs, where he hugs someone and then he picks them up off the ground. Anyway, Oliver Wink is our drummer, and Oliver is a really sweet guy. He's actually the newest addition. When we first had Oliver come in, he'd been in and out of a couple of bands, but really hadn't been in like a band for 10 years. And he had this Sears drum kit that was just like, it sounded awful. It sounded like absolute crap, like somebody falling down the stairs, like bad. And you know, I remember the guys kind of looked at me like, is this gonna work? And I was like, yeah, I think he can do it. And yeah, he's just worked so hard, and he's gotten to a point where he's doing a great job. I mean, really, really quickly too. He progressed so fast.
That's so cool. When did he start?
3 months ago. Time is weird for me, but maybe 3 months ago. Yeah, I don't ever know how long anything has been. So
is he doing the drumming for both the tour and the upcoming LP?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
That is a lot to learn.
We were in the studio for the EP that we just did, and he knocked them out, like all of the songs, quicker than any of us. Like he was the fastest, and like, yeah, like I was messing up like left and right, and so was Bennett, and he went in there and just like, it was so fast. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I've been trying to learn guitar for like 4 years. I can barely play like a bar chord.
Yeah.
Like shit, man.
Yeah, well, I could tell he practiced, but yeah, and yeah, he's going to be on tour. And
I remember last time you guys toured, Levi was with you.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the reasons I ended up like going there, because Levi was like, did you know Clem's playing?
Oh,
I'm in the band for now. He's so good. I miss Levi.
Hi, Levi. Anyway, if he hears this.
Hey, Levi. I'm going to cut out anything except for us just saying hi.
Hi.
So if he listens to it, like, he'll just get the hi, Levi.
Yeah.
How's it going, man? We've talked a little bit about the creation of your LP that is coming up. How has the creation of that been coming along?
It's coming along very well. The thing that we were just in the studio for was an EP, and that we recorded instead of the LP that we've had kind of pretty much written for a while. We recorded the EP instead because just financially it makes more sense for us to record like a 5-song EP rather than like a full LP right now. It's kind of funny because I'm working on a second LP while we are putting out a second EP and have a first LP ready to record. So in other words, It's going very well. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff happening all at once.
I was going to say, yeah, so you have a lot going on. You're working on a lot because you're also getting ready for the tour while you're doing that. Like,
it's been crazy. It actually has been crazy. You know,
it sounds like it's been crazy. That's a lot to do.
We had never booked like a full tour by ourselves, and that was nuts because, you know, we had no experience doing that. And I think that we did a pretty good job for like first timers when it came to like scheduling like a big thing like that, you know.
Yeah.
I think that the run is like 13 or 14 days, which is a lot of days to line up, and I don't know if we have a place to sleep lined up for every single show yet, so that's a thing that we're gonna have to figure out. But yeah.
Haven't you done that before on like smaller tours where you're like, we'll just figure it out when we're there?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of generally there's somebody at the venue or in one of the bands who's like, hey, I got a place for you. And that's just the DIY ethos, you know, like look out for each other type thing.
Yeah.
Which is great. You know, I love that about being a musician. There's that, scheduling all that and then trying to get it all situated and oriented is a task for sure. Like I said, I think we did pretty good. We had to balance it with a lot of other things like recording and writing and just prepping merch. And yeah, it was actually a lot. I think it's the most active that we've ever been as a band, which makes sense because I think this is the time when we're actually going out and seeing if we can get some kind of response out of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool.
How have you guys been preparing for the tour? Like you mentioned you guys booked all the shows yourself.
Yeah.
What went into that process of booking everything yourself and doing it all without like outside help?
Well, shout out to Google, I guess, because we spent a lot of time in Gmail, just emailing different venues. We figured out though that this should not have come as any surprise, but we figured out that emailing bands doesn't work as well as just messaging them on Instagram and being like, hey, what's up? Do you want to play a show? Because, you know, obviously musicians. So we've been learning kind of throughout this entire process, like how best to book a tour yourself. Our hope is that at some point we won't have to do that. You know, we won't have to be booking everything ourselves completely without any help whatsoever. But I still think it's good to know the process, and that's because then you have something to fall back on. We've been doing that. You know, we go through seasons where we're practicing a lot and we're like playing through the set a lot, but that very quickly becomes monotonous. So, you know, after a while, it's like, okay, I know the songs and I know how they're played. And then we'll put off practicing and be doing other things like writing and whatnot. And then a show will happen and we'll go, how do you play all the songs? I forgot. So, yeah, that has happened a couple of times.
What do you guys do in that case? Do you just kind of go with the flow, like make it up?
Yeah, well, so typically we do what people do before exams that they haven't studied for.
You just cram, just like go for it.
We cram practice, and then I pray that my fingers remember how to play a song. And if I've had too much to drink, they don't, and then it's terrifying. So I don't drink. It's happened multiple times when I've had like one beer. Like I cannot remember how to play. I don't know why, but anyway, I don't know how musicians get up there and they're like kind of wasted. I know everybody has seen that where like, you know, there's a musician who goes up and they're just
like absolutely fucked up.
I don't know how people remember their songs because I completely forget. It's like I have amnesia for a second, you know? But yeah, so that, but I also I like don't drink anymore.
Thank you for listening to the Midnight Riot podcast today. I am your host, Sage Plapp. I hope you enjoyed the chat I had with Joey Altamore from Clem. What are your tour dates? When's your tour coming up, just before we close?
We have a show on the 19th, and then I think the next date isn't until March 5th. And then it's on and off all throughout that month.
Cool. I'm glad I got to chat with you. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. I actually did have a wonderful time even just talking. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.